Time for our 10:30 kids story time, and I've got a different hat on. I've got a hat this is actually like blue jean material. Pretty neat hat. Uh, I talked yesterday a little bit about my old dog that I had when I was a boy named Brownie, and I've got a few stories that I can share for days about old Brownie. Old Brownie, we moved out of town and moved out into the country. I had no neighbors. You couldn't see another house anywhere near where we lived, and it wasn't a main road. There was the road we lived on. We were the only house that led into the Pittsburgh Plate Glass factory, so it wasn't a road that was used a whole lot, other than at the time of the work shift, men going to work and men leaving the plant. At that time, early in the morning, it was extra busy at that time. Or late in the afternoon, it was extra busy at that time. But other than that, it was a pretty bare road. Hardly anybody traveled on it. And so I would turn my dog loose. Old Brownie would get loose and run, and she had some beagle in her, and she would run a rabbit. I'd hear her barking, and at the time I wasn't a young man that grew up in a family that did some hunting. I look back now and I realize I had a dog that could have really been used to do some rabbit hunting. And she would run that rabbit, and there were times that she actually came back to the house with a rabbit in her mouth. She would actually catch that rabbit. And I don't know how many, beagle dogs are capable of doing that, but she was really good at hunting. But one day, I don't know, it must have been a day I was off from school or spring break or something, and I was there at the house, and Brownie came to the back door, and she had something in her mouth, and I went out the glass sliding door onto the back patio to see what she'd had, and here she had a little tiny baby rabbit. It was so small it barely had any hair, had no fur, just a little bit of hair on its little pink body. And it was still alive. And I kind of scolded Brownie. I didn't want her to bring me a little baby rabbit like this. And I took that rabbit from her. I didn't know what to do with it, but Brownie disappeared. And she came back in just a little bit with another baby rabbit. And I tried to stop her. I guess looking at it now, I should have probably put her back on the chain, but I didn't. And she brought, I lost track, but she brought probably 5 or 6 of those little baby rabbits to me that morning. And I don't remember what happened, but I know those babies, they didn't survive. I didn't know where she was getting them. I may have wandered out in the field with her in the hopes that she would show me, and she didn't cooperate with that. But she acted like she was bringing me trophies. Like I know you want this. And I really didn't, but she didn't understand. She was just a dog. And I couldn't sit her down saying, now listen, Brownie, every time you bring those little baby rabbits to me, their mother is not going to be able to raise them. And on top of that, you like to chase rabbits. And every time you bring me these little baby rabbits, they can't grow up and be chased by you. I couldn't sit Brownie down and explain things like that to her. She was just a dog. And I know you people that have dogs, I'm guilty too. You talk to your dog all the time, like your dog understands. But really, he doesn't. It brings me to one of those Bible verses that are always in my mind. There are certain Bible verses that stick with me that help me through my day. And here's the verse, and I've talked about this before. To him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him it is sin. And so God's word says, if you know what the right thing to do is, and you don't do it, you know you are sinning. You know you are doing the wrong thing. Now Brownie, she didn't understand. She didn't know that she was doing the wrong thing there. She acted like, oh yes, I've got another trophy for you. And she brought that yet another little pink baby bunny to me. And I couldn't get her to stop. But boys and girls, regardless of how old you are, you quickly learn what the right thing to do is. I just saw a picture this morning on Facebook where a group of people must have had some kind of a picnic around a little pond, and they left, and they just had trashed that whole place. There was trash and dirt and plastic bags and cups and plates. They just got up and left and went home. They knew that was wrong. I hope that someone finds out who it was and they make them go back and pick up every last piece of that trash. But if you're driving down the road and you're a teenager and you get fast food somewhere and you eat your meal and you take the bag and you just give it a toss out the window, that's wrong. And you know it's wrong. God says, to him that knoweth to do right and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So the right thing to do would be to keep that bag right with you. And when you get home, the right thing would be to take it in and put it in the trash. When you get ready to maybe go and get a shower or get a bath at night, you could take your clothes off and just throw them. Throw your dirty socks wherever, and you know that's not the right thing to do. And so life is really about all kinds of little things. That when you put all the little things together, they mount up into a big thing. They kind of reveal who we really are. And so you know, it doesn't make your mom happy when you pick at your brother. To him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So I'm going to pray that the Lord will help you, that he'll put that thought, that verse in your mind. And the next time you start to do something that you know isn't right, you'll be reminded, this isn't the right thing. I must do the right thing. It'll change, God's word will change your behavior. There's another verse that says, thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. See, when we start tucking God's word inside of us and we let it affect our thinking, that leads to good results. So, don't throw away your trash out the window. Be respectful. Don't pick at your brothers and sisters just to hear them squall. Don't throw your stuff around. Pick up after yourself. And the list goes on and on and on. To him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. Have a good day.